Hey family, it is way too hot for me to do anything outside, any up potting or playing in the dirt or gardening that I need to do. So hot outside. It's like the death outside. It's getting into summer. We're almost into actual summer, which is horrible around here. So I will not be doing that stuff outside. I'm gonna do the wise and prudent thing, and I'm gonna bring everything inside that I need to do, the things that need to be up potted. I'm gonna bring them into this table, and I'm gonna do them here in the dining room. Y'all just don't mind the mess. Still have to tear all this down and take all this apart and move the greenhouse. But what I'm up potting today are these loofahs that desperately need to be up potted. Homeschooling. Ooh, it is so good to be out of that sun and out of the heat. So now that I'm back inside in the cool and in the air conditioning, it's just too hot outside, guys. So now that I've got this inside, now I can up pot the loofahs. Okay. Yeah. See how almost not quite root bound, but you see how much these things needed to come out? Miles, let's get your candy and then focus on homeschooling. Trying to get them to focus on homeschooling is a little hard sometimes, but we're getting it. Candy is a good incentive, by the way. So you just sit the little plug right down in the 6-pack cell here. Yes? Yeah, that'd be good. So you just take the little plug, make the little hole somewhere in your up potting cells into one cell and just sit it down in the cell. And I kind of squish it down using both fingers, one on each side. Just kind of squish it down in there. And then it seats itself in the wet soil just fine. The trick is to wet the soil before you do this. Yeah, I could not imagine being out in the hot sun trying to do all this. Nuh-uh, no thank you. I have sweated enough this morning. Look at those roots, guys. Look at those roots. Jeez. They just really wanted to see some more soil. Quick. Okay, so they look a little rough right now, guys, but they're gonna perk up, they're gonna get bigger, the roots are gonna go down and realize that they have more soil now, and they're gonna get better and more established. I'm gonna help them perk up here and come along and look better, and hopefully be ready for a sale at the farmer's market. Okay, so I got two 6-pack full trays of loofah, and they look great, and I've trimmed them down, I've pruned them a bit. they're gonna figure out pretty soon that they're in a better situation and they're gonna start flourishing and taking off. So 2 trays is a good bit. That's a good bit of loofah for anybody that wants loofah. So I'm gonna let these start perking up, and I kept them inside on the table out of the heat of the sun because I just feel like the sun was just cooking them too hard. So I'm gonna let them rest in here away from that afternoon intense heat. I'm gonna let them be on the table for a little while, and then I'll take them out tonight and let them have some morning sun, you know, when the sun comes up in the morning. So they're gonna rest here for a minute on my table. Now, hopefully this entire situation about being too hot, and I'm hot outside too, and getting too much heat, hopefully this entire situation will become resolved by having all of our potted plants in this big new greenhouse that's just about finished, and it's going to have shade cloth over it. So with shade cloth, it's like game changer, and I'll be able to put all these potted plants that can't stand that intense heat all day long. I'll be able to hide them in there in the greenhouse under the shade cloth, and hopefully they'll thrive in there. So that I am so very, very grateful for and very happy to try out. Also, guys, y'all will notice now that it is the afternoon, it's about 3 o'clock, this whole area, my flower bed, gets shade. Everything gets shade in the afternoon. It gets full morning sun. It'll be blazing here in the morning, getting that beautiful wake up morning sun, but it's all shady in the afternoon. The other things like the greenhouse beds and the rest of the potager out there is full sun all day. Gets intense afternoon heat, takes the brunt of all the blazing heat out there, but this gets a cool down in the afternoon. So I tried to bring things in here like my Shasta daisies and other plants out here, some chamomile and other things that were not enjoying that intense heat. In fact, it was cooking them. And I wanted to show y'all specifically my primrose. I've had a lot of primrose that's dying from the heat. It's literally just searing the plant and cooking them. And this primrose, this evening primrose, it used to be all green, all intense, lush green color, but when the sun hits it that hard, it turns it red. It starts turning orange and red colors and starts cooking and dying off. And pretty soon they'll all look like this if I don't do something. So I had to bring all my evening primrose over here too. I even planted one in the flower bed just to see if it would thrive and live better in the flower bed, if it'll enjoy it more there, which I hope so. It's an experiment. But yeah, I had to save all these plants from being cooked to death in the afternoon sun. So this spot in particular is doing much better and thriving well, as opposed to other things out there that are getting a little too intense heat. And now while I'm out here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get this very red looking, beautiful, ripe tomato before any buggies have a chance to get it. I'm gonna get that one that's blushing hard and almost red, and I'm gonna let it finish ripening in the brown bag with the others because I just don't want bugs to get it before I do. Beautiful. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. Oh, that's perfect. Yes. Now, guys, some things do really, really well in the hot summer heat of our climate here. Like the daisies, the Shasta daisies, they seem to love it. They seem to love the heat. Now, when the summer really gets rocking and we get really high temperatures, I'll have to see if they tolerate it just as well or not. But so far, I mean, it's been hot, guys, and these daisies, like, they don't flinch. They love it. And of course, over here, the tomato is just happy. Tomatoes, they love hot weather. Up to a certain point, they do. And of course, the squash, this big squash that has just kind of started to take over my flower bed here, which is fine. I wanted squash in this season when I'm supposed to have it. So squash are very heat tolerant. There are some things in our summer climate, though, that are not so heat tolerant. They don't like the heat very much. One of those things is this chamomile. So I've tried to hide this chamomile behind the flower bed because when the sun up there gets going and gets over behind this house, it will shade out this spot so my chamomile can have some shade. So things that don't like that, you know, intense blazing heat. Also similar to that is this peony. I love this peony, and it's going to be very beautiful, but the leaves started to get a little bit fried, a little bit crispy, because peony evidently doesn't like that intense heat either. It likes that little bit of, you know, safety from the afternoon heat and afternoon sun. And I'm sure y'all saw that I'm hiding a lavender plant over here. I know y'all like, lavender? What? It's not the season for lavender, but this lavender plant seems happy where it is. It's very happy and alive and it's thriving. I just up potted it into this bigger pot because I want it to get even happier and even bigger. But so far I'm managing to grow lavender and it's almost summer, y'all. That's crazy. Zinnias love our hot temperatures. Cucumbers are gonna fade out when it gets really rocking, like I said, in the middle of the summer. Right now at the beginning of the summer is perfect temperature for them. So the cucumbers and zinnias are loving it. They enjoy this intense heat. Now my strawberry green stalk is still throwing off berries here and there. I'm still getting nice sized, good, beautiful strawberries. There's one hiding amongst the leaves. So I'm still getting my berries, but also I'm noticing runners. Y'all see this? It is the season. So the time that the berries start really flushing and putting on is the spring, but the summertime, which is vastly upon us, the summertime is when they start throwing out those runners and trying to propagate themselves and spread and make babies. So I may end up using those runners and making more strawberry plants and just kind of continuing that on, continuing that plant's life cycle and keeping them, you know, safe through the winter, and then letting them flush out again in the spring, and I'll have more plants in the spring. That's a good idea, huh? But yep, my strawberries are still doing good. They're just coming to that time, that phase of their life where they're gonna stop making berries and start throwing off more runners. Can't say enough about these red snapper tomatoes, y'all. They are hanging in there. That is beautiful. Blushing nicely. Yep. It is hot. I know the tomatoes are gonna struggle when it gets real hot, but so far, red snappers are just hanging in there, kicking off more fruit. I love it. I can't say enough about it, y'all. It tastes good. It's got that fleshy fullness inside the tomato, just lots of flavor. It's perfect. Have I shown y'all the celosia yet? Oh my goodness. It's finally starting to like head up and flower out. It looks like velvet, y'all. It's so beautiful. Oh, that's pretty. Yep. I love all these different colors of these little ones. The golden ones, the orange ones, the purple ones. It's just beautiful, y'all. It just made this bed pop. It made it full of color and life. I love the celosia. And it worked so well alongside this yarrow. That worked out just how I wanted it to, with tall and short, different heights there, and different color and different, you know, the aspects of it. It's glorious. It worked out perfectly. And of course, let's not forget all the succulents. The succulents are thriving in this heat. They're so enjoying the blazing hot all day sun that they get. We strategically put this succulent bed here in the middle corner right here so it would get all day sun. It gets intense heat from morning all the way till the sun goes down. And it's just happy. It's exploding. I hope all these just fill up this whole succulent bed. I hope they all crowd together and just overflow it. That would be beautiful. And here's another thing that's going to be loving that intense summer heat is my satsuma tree. I've pruned it and babied it and taken care of it, and I put it in this big grow bag with all these zinnias around it and other flowers just to kind of give that beauty around the bottom of it. But that is a pretty healthy satsuma plant. It's pretty happy too. So I'm hoping for satsumas maybe next year if I can keep it in the greenhouse through the winter, baby it and keep it going, but it's gonna love the summer. This thing thrives in the summer. Well, y'all stay cool out there when you're trying to beat this summer heat. We are coming into the summer. Even though it's not technically summer, I think it's like, what was it, June 21st is technically summer. But y'all, it feels like summer to me. It is hot, like hot. Like I have to wear my sun hat. I have to keep myself wet all day. I have to drink lots of fluids. It's hard being out here, y'all. I'm starting to only want to come out in the mornings and the evenings. It's very hot. Some plants are struggling. A lot of them are not yet. I'm very proud of them. They're hanging in there. They're doing great. Like I said, the shade cloth in the greenhouse is going to help us out a lot. It's going to be a lifesaver for our plants. But so far, they have not been drastically affected by this heat. So far, they're happy and thriving and loving it. I'm the only one fussing about the heat so far. So try to beat the heat, guys. Try to stay cool. Do not let yourself get too hot and overworked out there. Stay hydrated. Be safe. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.